microphone is now open. It was closed when
Yeah, I know. I
you
noticed that it had muted, so I remoted in and turned it back on. Are you all good now, or is there still some issues with your computer?
to see my what you call to see my because it seems my laptop here is I cannot connect it for some reason or how to use the document camera.
Okay, give me 2 minutes and I'm gonna head over to you. Okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
No
Okay.
problem. I'll be right there.
All right. Thank you. Well, just give me a second here. At least we're going to start now. Wow. Yeah. Okay. You see the camera here. You see now when did you hear him when he was talking?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Because that's what happened here. They realized it's muted, so they did it from their own. I cannot control that. You get my point of view. It's not from my computer. Yeah, and that's why when I saw the loudspeaker was muted, so I didn't know what to do. Okay, but at least they managed to. Okay, so now basically I want to make use of this document camera here. Okay. So basically, he's coming to help me with this because I don't know what happened here in my laptop. Because this one I have to connect through here until you can see it. Yeah. And I try to. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, I don't know what happened here with my. Let me go there back here.
Because you were in the meeting. You're in the meeting now. Okay, let's take a look at.
I did it actually.
So you got to pick the AVER camera.
I did, yeah, but even I didn't see that. I wasn't. No, I'm not in the meeting.
You're not in your Zoom app. You're in the web.
Because that's what I started here. Just a second here.
Can you leave?
Okay.
Here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know, because usually, see, I'm going to tell you what I do here. Normally, I go to. Let's see. Because I went from. Yeah, just give me a second here.
Yeah, no, take your time.
Yeah, and just let me put this again here. Do it again. Okay, student here. Just. But when is it muted? I cannot control it from here.
No, you control it from that panel back there.
Okay.
We never had the issue in this room before. That's why you never had to worry about it. And I noticed that the room is muted. So I'll show you how to do that after.
Okay. Later on, now just let me do this one here.
Yeah. Gosh. Okay, I think I've got an easier way for you.
Give me a second here.
Okay. Okay. Can you go back to your Gmail there?
Gmail?
Yeah, go there.
Here.
Click on the called the waffle icon, but it's
this one here?
Yeah, that one right there. Can you open up calendar? This class should be in your Google Calendar. Yeah, I see it right there. So if you click on the actual class, you should see a join Zoom meeting. If you just click that link.
I'll do it again and see.
Now open zoom.us. So that should open up the actual program. So now sign in because you're not signed into your Laurentian account right here.
Why I should sign here?
So you got to click on sign in with SSO.
Okay.
So that's going to take you, and now you've got your email there. Yeah, good. So continue. That's going to take you to the Laurentian sign in page.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, but at least this way it'll open up the app, and then we'll have the proper program. And say open again, just to confirm it. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, but then we'll make sure your speakers are muted.
No. Yeah, okay, read it from here.
Yeah, so from here now, you want to mute it.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay.
So now hit the up arrow,
Yeah.
pick the Aver. Oh, it's already selected. Good. Aver camera. So,
Yes,
that's,
yeah.
so that's this camera right here. You see your hand
Yeah, I
there?
can see that. Yeah, yeah.
So hover over that little square. See the three dots?
Okay.
Yeah. Spotlight video. It's the fourth option. One up.
This one?
Yep. You're good to go.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
See you later. Yeah. You see yourself on the right screen at the top there?
Okay.
Okay.
See you. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye. Wow, this is almost half an hour is gone. Okay. Always they said no issue, otherwise start the connection so many times. Okay. Well, last lecture I started with you with the water fungi, which is known as the Mastigo mycota. Okay, see this one here, yeah, because to me it's reverse, I wish I know. Okay. Now, in this one already I started with you last lecture. I mentioned we have three phyla in this group here. We have the phylum Chytridiomycota. And we have the phylum Hyphochytridiomycota. And we have the phylum Oomycota. Okay, I think you. Let's see, we can put this one here. All right. Okay. Already I mentioned to you in this regard, already I mentioned to you that there are predominantly aquatic group, means this organism, and about 79 species. Okay, which is soil from ditches and banks of pond and stream are also inhabited by chytrids, and some chytrids are even found in desert soil. Okay. And mention also, chytrids are varied not only in form, but also in the nature of their sexual interaction and their life histories. Already I mentioned that to you. Now I'm going to start with you with the general characteristic. Okay. Now, number one, I'm going to mention, of course, these organisms as aquatic fungi, they are different from the other fungi or the rest of the other fungi, basically by producing spores with a flagella, which is known as the zoospore. So that is number one. So to mention, they are distinguished from other fungi, from other fungi by their, by their characteristic motile cells. Number one. And these motile cells, of course, that we call them the zoospores. They have the zoospores, okay? Now, the other point I want to mention that this group, we have some groups basically, just to, Okay. Now, I want to mention basically that some group of these fungi produce zoospores with one flagella or one flagellum, okay, with one flagellum, because, okay, or others produce, okay, zoospores and gametes, okay, with two flagella. So as I mentioned, we have a group of these with two flagella, others with one flagellum. Okay. Now, the other characteristic of this group, now, other important characteristic of this group, you remember when I talked to you about other fungi that the difference in their mitosis, and I mentioned in these other fungi, basically, they don't have what you call, they produce a spindle fiber, they don't have a centrioles. You remember that? As a general characteristic of the fungi. If you go back to the general. Now, as I mentioned that apart from the aquatic fungi, and that's what you mentioned that these fungi, and they have centrioles, and that's what I want to mention to you here. Okay, important characteristic of this group, okay, is we call the centrioles are functional during the cell division. Okay, during the cell division. Now, the other characteristic I mentioned to you, this group here now, we have this terminology going to mention to you, also important, that some of unicellular group, whole the cell will change into what you call a protective structure, while others part of it, and that's use terminology between holocarpic and eucarpic to mention. The other point I'm going to mention, okay. Now these simple fungi, most of them, these simple fungi, okay, do not, okay, produce hyphae, though they produce some, but not as other hyphae, okay? And some are parasitic, okay? Some of these are parasitic, okay? To mention other of this group here, okay? Some organisms, okay, consist of a single cell, okay, which will develop, the whole cell which will develop. Can you read my writing well? Okay. Which will develop, okay, into a sporangium. Now, When you have this one cell and that whole the cell is changed into a sporangium, such organism, we call them holocarpic. These are known as holocarpic. Okay, now, or in some part of their thalli. Thalli basically is a plural of thallus, okay, or thallus, executive thallus here, which I already explained before. Now, or some part of their thallus develop, okay, into a sporangium. So in this case, known as the organism we call eucarpic. Okay, in this case, we call the organism eucarpic. Okay, known as eucarpic. Now, these are some of the characteristics of these organisms which already mentioned. Now I'm going to move to the examples. Going to start first here with the phylum. Okay. Here the phylum, Mycota. Now, in this organism, I'm going, in this continuum, I'm going to give you two examples. The first one, going to have the class here, Chytridiomycetes. Okay. And the example I'm using, known as chytrids. Okay. We'll call the message as Chytridium. Okay. Now this is single cell organism. This is a single cell organism. That's how it looks like the organism. I'm going to show it to you. Okay. This is how it looks like. As you can see, you have a zooid which is attached to the soil, and all that you have, of course, that is the one cell, and also it has here basically like a cap. You can see this cap here, which is basically look like a porculum, a cap open, and basically when it mature and divide the zoospore, then the zoospore is going to move from the cap when open, and the zoospore, of course, this organism also has to mention with one flagella. This is an example on this kind of Chytridiomycota with one flagellum, and their zoospore is one flagellum here. Okay, so this group here. Now, I'm going to put some general characteristic of this group here. Basically, this is basically as first I call general structure or morphology of the organism. Just a few lines on it. Okay. And this one here, basically, this is, as I mentioned, typically, okay, unicellular. Unicellular or primitively branched. Branched, okay. Some we call chain of cells, some of them here. Okay. It attaches itself to the substrate by rhizoids. Okay. Now, the other going to mention this one here. Basically, the organism itself is usually haploid. Okay. Again, usually haploid. Okay. Now I'm going to give you the Chytridium is a single, and then I'm going to give you other example of the same group, which is going to be multicellular. You got this point to you? So this is an example on cellular. Okay, now the cell wall, the wall itself or cell wall consists of chitin and glucan. Okay. Now, don't forget also that these organisms, they produce zoospore with one flagella. Or gamete, or okay, with one flagellum. Is that clear? Okay. Now, this one here, just if you just give me a second here. Okay. This is here shows to you basically the life cycle of the organism. Okay. This one here presents the asexual life cycle, which is very simply shows to you that now this is the organism here. Okay. When it's going to mature, as a matter of fact, the cell divide, and this because this cell when going to produce the zoospore, then we call it zoosporangium. You follow my point of view? And then what happened here, when it mature, as I showed you that the operculum or the cap will open, and then these are the spore or the zoospore. It's going to swim swim is going to attach to the going to show cycle. Is that clear? Okay. So it puts some this one here. First the actual. Okay. And this I mentioned to you here that zoospores with a single flagellum, a zoospore with a single flagellum, okay, zoospore, and also to mention, okay, then the whole body, because it's one cell, okay, the whole body, okay, or the fungus converts into sporangium. Okay, and because that sporangium produce zoospore, from my point of view, then in that case we call it zoosporangium. Okay. Then once the zoospores mature, okay, they are, sorry, they are liberated from the zoosporangium.
Professor, could you please adjust your page, please? We can't see some of the wording there.
Well, can you see it now?
Just a little bit more to the right. Yep, that's perfect. Oh, no, just a little bit to the left.
Yeah, because what happened here, I don't know. I will try to reduce a little bit this, but it seems I can't. Oh. Okay. Yeah, now it's better, I guess. Yeah. Now, don't forget also, now, this organism, the whole cell will change into zoosporangium. So it belongs to what? The holocarpic organism. So this is called holocarpic because the whole unit cell, the cell, when the cytoplasm, the whole structure develop into zoosporangium. So in this case, we call it what we call it is a kind of holocarpic. So as I mentioned here, they are liberated from the zoosporangium, okay, and swim, and then attach to other organism or substrate that grows, is going to grow again into mature cell. Is that clear? Okay. And basically that's exactly what I showed you. Okay. Basically that is simple as this here. Okay. I'm going to show you. Okay. That basically this is the cell that when the operculum open, then the zoospore are liberated. They swim for a while and they attach to any attached substrate, and then they grow and develop and the cycle repeat itself. So this basically presents what we call the asexual life cycle. Now I'm going to talk about the sexual life cycle. I'm not going to go in detail of it. Or sexual reproduction. Now, when reproduction or life cycle here, for example, if it come an exam and ask you, for example, to discuss the life cycle of an organism. When I said a life cycle, that means you discuss both the asexual and sexual. You follow my point of view here, okay? So just to let you know. Now the sexual reproduction here. Now the sexual reproduction is a little bit, okay. It doesn't show it here very well, but I'm going to explain it to you. And then I will put a little bit fuel, okay? Now what happened here, Usually the sexual protection occur that sometime when two organisms, don't doesn't show here, two organisms, okay, they come together, like this one here. Just give me a second. That you have one organism like this with their rhizoid, it come another one here also with their rhizoid. You follow my point of view here? And they come, so basically some of their rhizoid, they will become in contact, and then in that contact here, what happened here? Then all the cytoplasm, everything, it goes inside here. You follow my point, okay? Yeah, that's basically how it goes. So basically what happened here, they show, and when it comes all the material in one, then in that case, of course, becomes all the nucleus and everything of the other organisms, they come together, okay? And then what happened here, then when all the nuclei of the two organisms and cytoplasm, then at the beginning, the stage of coming together, we call it plasmogamy take place, then it is haploid, so it is one end, okay? So that's why when the zygote develop, the zygote is going to be diploid, and meiosis occur in the zygote, and then after the division of the meiosis, of course, they're going to produce the haploid zoospore, and then the haploid zoospore is going to swim, and also the same thing to develop, lie on the substrate and develop a new organism. So basically, this is represent more or less as the sexual production of this organism. I am simply going to mention here a few lines, okay? That, I mean, sexual production, okay, usually by fusion of motile male and female gametes. Now, I want to explain this to you here. Of course, this organism does not have a special gamete, okay? But once any organism will act to unite as male and female, or in that case, we call it gamete. You follow my point of view? Once two organisms become close together, and they are, in that case, each will present as a gamete. Do you understand this? And that's called a gamete, okay? And to mention here, and occasionally, okay, occasionally, only the male gamete is motile. So you can leave it here. Okay, so only the male gamete, okay, is motile, okay? Then the fusion of the two okay, the fusion produce zygote. Okay. Okay. Which is now, in this case, of course, is diploid. 2N. The zygote is diploid. But also, always I want to use this terminology that produced after plasmogamy and karyogamy. Now, if I ask any one of you, can anybody tell me what is the difference between what is plasmogamy and karyogamy, just to make sure that you know it?
Plasmogamy is when the cytoplasms come, and karyogamy is when the nucleus
when all the protoplasm unite, but it's still the nuclei of each are still separate. You got this point here? Okay, good. Okay. Now, when the nuclei start uniting, then that becomes a karyogamy. Okay? To put an example like this one here, okay, just to put it, for example here, okay, just to suppose this is one cell of another organism and this is another cell. If they unite in one, still the two nuclei say of each one is separate. Once this is when the two protoplasm, this is the plasmogamy. When the two nuclei start uniting, then this is the karyogamy. As simple as this. Okay, so that's what I want to put down here. A zygote. Okay, it's better to try to reproduce a zygote after, so that you understand here, after plasmogamy. Okay, and karyogamy. Because we're going to use this terminology quite a bit in fungi life cycle. And karyogamy, okay, then meiosis, after the zygote, meiosis, okay. Produce, after zygote, produce what you call haploid, okay, zoospores, that after liberation, okay, after liberation, swim, then attach to substrate, attach to substrate, and then of course after that develop into new organism. Sorry. Okay, so basically that what the sexual life cycle of the organism. Okay. Did you follow this? Okay. Then I'm going to talk about another thing here, which is known as the frog problem. To see how this is, okay. Okay. I don't know if you heard about this, that sometimes quite a bit of frogs and other amphibians, they start dying, okay? They notice that, and of course, later on when they realize, they find basically that this fungus, especially the chytrid, some of the chytrid species, they're able to infect these frog and other amphibians, and of course, when they multiply in their, what you call, skin, and of course becomes more thicker. And as you know, these organisms basically they breathe from their skin, and that's why in the end the organism will die. The problem it is here, why this is happening, is this fungus new to them, or recently happened because of some other factors affecting this? So basically we talk about this now. To make sure that in recent years, okay, the chytrids, okay, has been found, okay, has been found attacking amphibia, in many parts, amphibia in many parts of the word. Oh, sorry. Of the word. And basically, that's some of them. They call them what you call as die off. They call this disease as a die off. Okay, to mention here of the word. Okay. Okay. And as I mentioned to you here, and has been associated called with significant die off, okay, of frogs. Okay. It happened basically in Australia, okay, Central America, in Australia, Central America, and even and also and at the National Zoo in Washington, D.C. Of course, of USA. Now, this condition, this disease, is known as, okay, Chytridiomycosis. Known as Chytridiomycosis, okay, because no other organism has been found infecting these, okay, since no other organism no other organisms are yet known to be involved. Okay. You follow this point here. Now to explain, of course, as I mentioned to you, that it seems the fungus, okay, lives inside what you call the epidermal cells. And of course, when it goes inside, causing the thickening of it, okay, cells, and causes thickening of the skin, okay. And of course, as you know, these organisms like frogs, that's what they do the respiration with the skin, and that of course is going to interfere with their respiration, and in the end, it's going to die. Okay, and which may interfere okay, with the normal respiration. Okay, normal respiration. Now, of course, the point is why these organisms start suddenly attacking this fungus attacking this organism. Is it this is the first time this organism is available? Water, of course, is not, I guess. And what they figure out maybe because of either of the pollution, which is created that resulted in one way or another, and basically weakening the immune system of the organism, or also because in many cases sometimes happen what you call these holes in the ozone layer and allow more ultraviolet to come, and also the same thing going to result in the weakening the immune system of these organisms. So just to mention a few points here, okay? Now, to mention, of course, no one knows for sure, of course, no one knows, okay, why this fungus, okay, would suddenly begin killing, of course, frogs. Of course, as I mentioned, they are quite diverse, either Australia or America or South America. They are quite, so that's the point here. Killing frogs, okay, in places as diverse as Australia, and for example, and Panama. Okay. Now, the explanation, of course, that we're going to say, for example, that fungus, okay, may have been transported, okay, to these places, that the fungus has been transported to these places recently. This is one what you call proposition or thinking one, okay, or the fungus, as I mentioned, may have been present for a long time, okay, may have been present for a long time, okay. But of course, if that the suggestion here, but the frogs, okay, are now, okay, becoming infected due to some weakness in their immune system. Okay. Of course, due to the immune, as a result, I mention here as could be as a result, okay, as a result okay, of recent, or not very recent, of recent environmental changes. Okay, of the recent environmental changes. Okay. Now, of course, one of these changes, of course, which is occurred, okay, one obvious change, okay, is increased, called increased ultraviolet light, okay, which is basically, as you call it, as happens sometimes due to the ozone hole and so on. And that's basically, and usually the ultraviolet, as a matter of fact, is affecting what you call the immune system, which is known, okay, to damage, okay, immune system of animals. Of course, this is one opposition as a result of this. And of course, the other thing also because a lot of now polluted material coming in the water, either chemicals, chlorination, all that, of course. And also this it could result in one or another also in what you call affecting the immune system of these animals. Okay. So to mention in this regard here, and recently, okay, chlorinated chemicals released. Okay, this is released. Okay, just a minute here. Fluoride chemical released. Okay, by human. Okay. That itself also by human. Okay, have also have resulted that an ozone layer or resulted that the ozone layer in the upper atmosphere, okay, allowing around about 10%, okay, more ultraviolet. Okay, allowing more and of course ultraviolet to go, and that's of course affecting the okay. And also in addition to that, it could be other industrial chemicals in the water. So the bottom line, that could be the result of these things affecting the immune system of these organisms, and that basically be very easily infected with these fungi. Okay. Now basically I think because this one is going to shut down maybe within less than 5 minutes, so I have to about 5 or 6 minutes. Okay. Now they're going to move to another group or another example. Did you follow this okay now so far? Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about, it's okay to move this? Okay. All right. I'm going to leave it now. Okay, now. It's going to start with the same thing. We have this class. Still, I am with the same class here, Chytridiomycetes. Okay. The other example, this is example number 2 for this one here. Okay, and this is known as allomycetes. Known as allomycete species. Okay. This is the allomycete, of course. The Chytridiomycetes was unicellular. No, this is mycelial organism. It has, this is as example, mycelial organism. Okay. This organism, it looks like this. I'll show it to you here. Just give me a second here. This is how like the organism look like. Okay. As you can see here, basically it has a rhizome to attach, and it has this, and then divide. And as you can see, the organism more or less like dichotomously branch. Dichotomously branch, when you have a branch, and always each branch will divide into two. When each organ, then in that case called dichotomously a branched organism. So basically, this is what we are going to talk about. And then, of course, we're going to talk about it's also reproduction, sexual and asexual life cycle, though a little bit more complicated than the previous organism. And sometimes this organism as what you call live picture. This is like a sketch. Okay, it looks like this one here, if you can see it. Okay, this is how it looks like. The allomycetes. See how it looks like this. It's very faint. Now, Chytridiomycetes, this is a live organism. I don't know if you can see it. This is a very dark picture, but that's the Chytridium, how it looks like. Think, and with this, what you call rhizoid. Okay. So basically, this is the organism. First, I'm going to talk about a general structure about this organism. Okay. Okay, general structure, because I have only left 3 minutes here. Now I'm going to say basically, it is mycelial organism. Okay. Also grows saprophytically. Grows saprophytically on plant debris. Okay. On plant debris. Of course, saprophytically from saprophyte means not as a parasite, saprophyte. Okay. Saprophytically on plant debris. Okay. In aquatic habitat. Okay. Now, as you can see, the mycelium, as a matter of fact here, okay, the mycelium has no septa. Okay, so in this case, it is a cenocytic, or we call it is known as the multinucleate. Okay, the mycelium, okay, is cenocytic. That means aseptate, and it is a multinucleate. Okay, and incompletely septate at the sporangial